a work that initiated today and continues to initiate for a while since it started. We're at the 49th hour, and there's no one that wants to put this individual in handcuffs than us. So this has brought us to a new lead, which I momentarily will be able to provide you with. That's going to include video of this individual as well as photos of this individual. We're asking the public for assistance to be able to identify this individual. The photos I will be able to show you are coming from the area of Hope Street near Benevolent and Manning. And those photos and those videos were retrieved around 2 p.m. on Saturday the 13th. And we believe that that's the same individual that we showed you from the previous video that we released. The public is encouraged to use the tip line, which is pretty active. We have a tip line which is staffed with officers from the Providence Police as well as analysts, and they're taking calls as we speak. And we want the public to use that information that they have that may be beneficial to this investigation. They need to call 401-272-3121 +0. I was going to direct you in order to provide the tips that you're providing to us. As well, you can access the FBI website at fbi.gov/Brown University shooting. Please, I'm going to ask you all to follow our channels to stay appraised of what's going on and to stay accurate. There's a lot of channels and a lot of stuff that's going out there that's circulating the wrong info. And I told you when I first met you that there's appropriate info, there's accurate info, and it's going to come from us. So I please and plead with you that you access those type of channels. Again, we're asking for the public's assistance in identifying this individual that we're about to show you, and we'll release this video on Twitter, on our Twitter account momentarily. I'm going to turn to the video behind us. I'll be able to show you in 2 seconds. Officer Mangan, if you can just activate put the videos up. So this is the first video that we're showing you. This is the individual walking. It's on the sidewalk of Benevolent. And this is prior to the incident. Here we go again with is this video too, Mike? Again, you see him walking. Move on to the third video. This is some photos of this individual. And they will all be time-stamped. The last photo. Thank you. So we'll be providing this as well, and I ask you all to please make sure you put them up, and then anybody in the public that has any info about this individual, we ask that you call our tip line, and we'll also have the numbers in the website listed.
On Brown University, Mr. President, do you know what the motive of the shooter was? Was it a targeted attack?
No, that's moving along now, and we don't, and we're going to see what happens. Hopefully they're going to capture this animal. Hopefully they're going to capture it.
Has Kash Patel told you why it's been so difficult for the FBI to identify who the shooter is?
Well, it's always difficult. So far, we've done a very good job of doing it with Charlie, with, the various times this has happened. They've done it in pretty much record time. But you really have to ask the school a little bit more about that because, this was a school problem. They had their own guards, they had their own police, they had their own everything, but you'd have to ask that question really to the school, not to the FBI. We came in after the fact, and the FBI will do a good job, but they came in after the fact.
Do you know if it was targeted, Mr. President?
No, they don't know that yet, no.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am here with Senator Whitehouse and Senator Brett from Alabama to recognize the victims of a terrible, heartbreaking mass shooting that took place at Brown University in Providence over the weekend. 2 young people were killed and 9 were wounded when a gunman opened fire on a classroom full of college students studying for their finals. We will mourn the victims at a later date, but we will soon, all of us, humbly request a moment of silence for sophomore Ella Cook of Alabama and freshman Muhammad Aziz Umar Zokov of Virginia. These two talented, promising young people had their lives tragically cut short. We are thinking of them and all the victims and to the broader Brown University community. We send our love and support to their families and loved ones. They are dealing with the unimaginable, and we will continue to support them. Before I ask us to observe a moment of silence, I would like to turn to my colleagues for some brief remarks. And I yield the floor to Senator Whitehouse.
Mr. President,
Senators recognized.
I'm honored to join our senior senator as he calls for a moment of silence to share in the sorrow of the families who lost their young college student children to this tragedy. And I would only ask that all of us, including anyone listening, just hold off and give these families a little bit of grace and peace as they deal with this loss. They were expecting to see these kids for the Christmas holidays. There are other kids who are in the hospital, in some cases in fairly critical condition. Those families are not going to be spending Christmas around the tree at home. They're going to be spending Christmas in a state away from home where their children are in their hospital room, trying to be there for them. So there's a good deal of suffering and a good deal of sorrow, and I think it's important that people not add to that with a lot of unfounded opinion and speculation about what took place. Let the investigation proceed. We will know what we need to know in due time. In the meantime, please give these families grace as they go through their grief. I yield the floor.
Mr. President, I join my colleagues from Rhode Island in coming today to honor the victims at Brown University, for those who lost their lives and those who are fighting for theirs right now in a hospital room. We lift up their families in prayer. We ask for privacy and peace as they grieve the unimaginable. Just over the last 36 hours, I've been inundated with text messages and calls, specifically talking about what an incredible young woman Ella Cook was. She was everything that is great about our state: bold, courageous, convicted, thoughtful, kind. She made her mark at Mountain Brook High School. She was making her mark at Brown University. The calls that I've gotten have been not just from Alabama, but literally from people across the country who encountered her. While her life was cut way too short, and I cannot imagine the pain and grief that her parents are feeling right now, and her little brother and her little sister and her extended family, it is clear that she made an impact, that her time on earth was such a positive force for good, that the ripple of her life will be felt for generations to come. And as we lift their families up in prayer, the Brown community, people across this country that are grieving, I hope to echo my colleague's statement that we can all do that together. And I yield the floor to the senior senator from Rhode Island for a moment of silence.
Mr. President, again, we will have more time to speak about these young people, but for now, I would request a moment of silence for the Brown University community, the city of Providence, and all of the victims of these tragic events, particularly the families of Ella and Muhammad. Mr. President.